All right, guys, I want you to read this paragraph about women's magazines that comes from chapter 13 in your book. I want you to also remember that chapter 13 tells us that when we are making a persuasive argument, there are 5 methods of proving our argument. I'm going to color code each of those in this paragraph. So let's start with pink. I like pink. The first one is stating facts. So we can recognize facts because they usually give us statistics or figures. And in the third sentence of this paragraph, they tell us that the Tulsa Chronicle, it's a newspaper, says that women buy 7 million copies a month of women's magazines. So that's a statistic that we can say is them using a fact to prove their argument that American women should stop buying women's magazines. The second example they give us, I'm going to switch to yellow, is to refer to an expert. Remember, it's always better to use an expert's words to back up what you're saying because people are more likely to listen to them. We have an expert here. It says one expert in readers' reactions, Deborah Then, says that almost all women, regardless of age or education, feel worse about themselves after reading one of these magazines. So they're backing up their point. Once again, they're backing up their point by using an expert. Your book also tells us that we can back up our point by giving examples. An easy way to find this is by looking for the word example in a paragraph. So when you use an example of somebody you know or an anecdotal experience of somebody to back up what you're saying, that's giving an example. So I'm going to mark that there. Your book also tells us that one way we might do this is to predict consequences. So that means that we're looking at the future. So if this thing that is happening keeps happening, or if the opposite of it keeps happening, what would happen? And they tell us at the end of this paragraph that if women spent the money and time these magazines take on more self-loving activities, then they would build real self-worth rather than if they kept reading these magazines. So that is a prediction of consequences. The last example that they give us, let's use this dark blue, I'm running out of good colors, is answering the opposition. That means that you're saying, okay, well, I know some people say this, but in actuality, this is true. So we have, although many people, especially magazine publishers, claim these periodicals build self-esteem, they really do the opposite. So we're recognizing that some people say one thing, but we're saying that that's just not true. So we're answering the opposition.